The roar that crossed the ocean.
Have you ever wondered why you see lions everywhere in America? On flags, statues in front of libraries, even as mascots for our favorite sports teams. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Because the lion, the so-called king of beasts, has never actually roamed the wilds of North or South America. Their natural habitats are in Africa and a small part of India. So, how did this majestic creature become such a powerful symbol in a land it never called home? The story is a fascinating journey that crosses oceans and centuries. The roar of the lion first echoed in the Americas, not from a real animal, but from the stories and symbols brought over by European settlers. Think about it. For thousands of years, the lion held a place of honor in European culture. It was a central figure in biblical tales like the story of Daniel in the lion's den, where it represented both mortal danger and divine protection. This gave the lion a deep spiritual significance, a symbol of faith and resilience against overwhelming odds. When settlers crossed the Atlantic, they didn't just bring their belongings, they brought their beliefs, their folklore, and their symbols. The lion was packed right alongside everything else. Beyond religion, the lion was the ultimate symbol of royalty and power in the Old World. It adorned the coats of arms of kings and noble families, a bold declaration of strength, nobility, and the right to rule. England's royal crest, with its powerful lions, is a prime example. For the colonists, many of whom were leaving behind monarchies, the lion was a familiar and potent image. As they sought to build a new nation, they adopted and repurposed this symbol. It was no longer just about a king's power, but about the sovereign power of a new people. It represented the courage and strength required to tame a new continent and forge a new identity. From heroic myths of figures like Hercules wrestling, the Nemean lion to its use in ancient Roman architecture to signify grandeur, the lion carried with it a legacy of heroism and majesty. These stories and images were embedded in the classical education and cultural consciousness of America's founders. So, when they designed their cities, built their monuments, and wrote their new national story, they reached for this timeless symbol of courage. The stone lions guarding the New York Public Library aren't just decorations. They're guardians of knowledge, embodying patience and strength. The lion in American culture is a testament to the power of stories, a symbol that sailed across an ocean to represent the untamed spirit and bold aspirations of a nation it had never seen.
Before the lion, Native America and the cougar spirit.
Ever wondered why the lion, a creature that has never roamed the American wilderness, holds such a powerful place in our imagination? To understand this, we need to look back long before the first European stories of lions crossed the ocean. We need to look to the original great cat of the Americas, the cougar. This majestic animal, also known as the mountain lion or puma, wasn't just another predator in the wild for Native American tribes. It was a figure of profound spiritual significance. It was a guardian, a leader, and a symbol of immense power. Across the vast and diverse landscapes of this continent, from the dense forests of the east to the arid deserts of the southwest, the cougar was revered. For many tribes, the cougar was woven into the very fabric of their cosmology. The Zuni people, for instance, saw the cougar as one of the great directional guardians, the powerful protector of the north. Its strength and solitary nature made it the perfect keeper of this sacred direction, a silent sentinel watching over the land. In the traditions of the Hopi, the cougar embodied the qualities of a true leader. Its unmatched stealth, its patience, and its decisive hunting prowess were seen as virtues to be emulated. To be like the cougar was to move with purpose, to lead with quiet confidence, and to possess a deep understanding of one's environment. The cougar was the ultimate hunter, a master of its domain and a symbol of raw, untamed strength. Further east, the Cherokee people tell tales of the wampus cat. This is not just a simple animal, but a formidable supernatural being, a creature of myth and legend. The story often speaks of a woman who, seeking to spy on the sacred ceremonies of the men, disguised herself with the skin of a cougar. When discovered, she was cursed, forever bound to the form of a terrifying half-woman, half-cat monster. The wampus cat is a complex figure representing themes of transformation, vengeance, and the powerful consequences of crossing spiritual boundaries. So, long before the lion became a symbol of royalty and courage in Western culture, America already had its own great cat spirit. The cougar wasn't just an animal. It was a protector, a teacher, and a mystical being that commanded respect and awe. It was the original American lion, a silent king whose spirit still prowls the mountains and deserts of this land, embedded deep within its oldest stories.
The imported king, how the lion became an American symbol.
When the first European settlers arrived in the New World, they didn't just bring their belongings. They brought their symbols, their stories, and their cultural baggage. And packed right in there was the king of beasts, the lion. Think about it. Lions have never roamed the forests of North America, yet their image is woven deep into the fabric of American identity. Why? It all starts with who was coming over. These weren't just farmers and laborers, they were people with history, with lineage. For centuries in Europe, the lion was the ultimate symbol of power, royalty, and nobility. If your family had a coat of arms, chances were a lion was on it, roaring, standing proud, or ready to pounce. It represented strength, courage, and a legacy of leadership. So, as these families established themselves in a new, untamed land, they brought that symbol with them. The lion began appearing on the grand family crests carved above doorways, on flags fluttering in the breeze, and even etched into the stained glass of churches. It was a piece of home, a familiar emblem of authority in an unfamiliar world. In the world of colonial art, the lion found itself in some interesting company. You'd often see it depicted alongside native creatures like the bald eagle and the serpent. This wasn't just a random menagerie. It was a powerful statement. The eagle represented the vast wild potential of the new continent. The serpent, often a symbol of wisdom or divine authority, added another layer of meaning. And standing right there with them was the lion. In this context, the lion wasn't just a nod to European heritage. It became a symbol of the courage required to tame this new world, to build something lasting from the wilderness. For many of those early Americans, the lion embodied a specific kind of moral fortitude. It represented the strength to face the unknown, the bravery to uphold one's convictions, and the divine right to rule, to bring order to chaos. They saw in the lion not just a fierce predator, but a reflection of the virtues they aspired to possess. It was the courage to found a new nation, the strength to defend their ideals, and the noble bearing of a people who believed they were destined for greatness. The lion was an imported king, crowned in a land it had never seen, reigning over the hearts and minds of a people building a new empire.
The lion in American imagination.
As America expanded and its identity took shape, so did its mythology. The lion, a creature that never roamed the American wilderness, found a new and powerful home in the nation's imagination. It shed its old skin as purely a European symbol of royalty and power, transforming into something more universal, an emblem of raw strength, courage, and untamed spirit. This wasn't just about borrowing from old traditions, it was about reforging a symbol to fit a new world. Think about how this majestic animal began to appear in distinctly American contexts. In the world of children's literature, the lion wasn't always a fearsome predator. Instead, it often took on a persona of wisdom and gentle authority. The most iconic example, of course, is Aslan from C.S. Lewis's Asterisk, The Chronicles of Narnia Asterisk. Though written by a British author, Aslan's character resonated deeply with American ideals of righteous power and benevolent guidance, becoming a beloved figure for generations of young readers. He represented a moral compass, a powerful force for good that was both awe-inspiring and deeply comforting. This gentle giant archetype helped cement the lion as a symbol of nobility in the American psyche. Then, Hollywood took the lion and catapulted it to superstardom, showcasing its incredible duality. On one hand, you have the thunderous, commanding roar of the MGM lion, Leo. Since 1924, that roar has served as a prelude to cinematic adventure. a promise of epic stories and larger-than-life entertainment. It's a symbol of Hollywood's power and grandeur. The MGM lion is pure, untamed strength, an embodiment of the spectacle that American cinema strives to deliver. On the other hand, motion pictures gave us one of the most beloved characters in animation history, Mufasa from Disney, **The Lion King**. Here, the lion is portrayed as a wise and just king, a loving father, and a martyr whose legacy inspires his son to reclaim his destiny. Mufasa is the personification of honor, responsibility, and familial love. His character arc explores deep themes of leadership and sacrifice, turning the lion into a profound symbol of virtue. Through characters like Mufasa, the lion became more than just a powerful beast. It became a reflection of our highest aspirations for leadership and integrity. From the noble Aslan to the roaring Leo and the honorable Mufasa, each portrayal has added new layers to the lion's meaning. These figures aren't just characters. They are mirrors reflecting American dreams of strength, fears of unchecked power, and ideals of righteous leadership. The lion that America worships may have never set paw on its soil, but it roams freely and powerfully through the vast landscapes of its culture, a testament to the enduring power of myth and imagination.
The lion and the American spirit.
Did you know that one of America's most revered symbols is an animal that has never naturally set foot on the continent? I'm talking about the lion. From the stone guardians outside the New York Public Library to the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, the image of the lion is everywhere. But why? Why does a nation built on its own unique identity and landscape worship a creature from a distant land? The answer lies not in zoology, but in symbolism. The story begins with the founding fathers who drew heavily from European traditions, especially those of Great Britain, whose national animal is the lion. For centuries, the lion represented monarchy, power, and nobility. As America forged its new identity, it didn't completely discard these old symbols. Instead, it repurposed them. The lion was stripped of its royal connotations and reborn as a symbol of republican strength, courage, and untamed spirit. It was no longer about the divine right of kings, but the sovereign power of the people. This transformation is fascinating. America took the symbol of its former ruler and made it a mascot for its own independence and might. In America, the lion became more than a creature. It became a metaphor that permeates our culture. We speak of having a lion as heart to describe immense courage in the face of adversity, a term that echoes through tales of soldiers on the battlefield and first responders running toward danger. In the worlds of politics and sports, we praise lion-hearted leaders, individuals who are bold, decisive, and command respect not through birthright, but through their actions and character. Think of the legendary athletes who are celebrated for their fierce competitiveness, their will to win against all odds. They are often described in leonine terms. And when crisis strikes, whether personal or national, what do we tell ourselves and each other? Find your inner lion. This powerful phrase is a call to action. It's a command to dig deep, to find that reservoir of strength, resilience, and leadership that we believe exists within all of us. It's the idea that when pushed to the brink, we can rise, we can fight, and we can lead our way out of darkness. The lion, a creature America only knew through stories and art, became the perfect emblem for the spirit. The nation aspired to have proud, strong, independent, and undeniably brave. It's a testament to the power of a story, proving that a symbol's true home is not in the wild, but in the heart of the culture that embraces it.
A symbol that evolves.
From the roaring MGM lion to the fierce Detroit lions, the king of the jungle seems to be everywhere in American culture. But have you ever stopped to wonder why? Lions have never roamed the American wilderness, yet they hold a powerful place in our collective imagination. This isn't just a modern marketing gimmick. It's a story that stretches back thousands of years, a symbol we inherited and reshaped into our own. The lion's journey into American hearts began long before the United States was even a dream. In ancient cultures, from Egypt to Rome, the lion was the ultimate symbol of royalty, strength, and divine authority. Kings and emperors adorned their thrones and banners with its image to project power and legitimacy. When European colonists crossed the Atlantic, they brought these ancient symbols with them. The British Royal Arms, featuring its prominent lions, was a constant presence in colonial life, a daily reminder of distant power. So, when the American colonies decided to break away, they faced a symbolic dilemma. How do you create a new identity while using the same language of power? Interestingly, while the newly formed United States chose the bald eagle as its national emblem, a creature native to the land, the lion, didn't just disappear. It simply changed its role. Instead of representing a distant monarch, it began to symbolize the very virtues the new republic admired: courage, strength, and a noble spirit. You can see this shift in the architecture of the time, with stone lions guarding the entrances of libraries and government buildings. They weren't symbols of a king's rule anymore. They were guardians of knowledge, justice, and civic virtue. They became a symbol of the people's strength, not a ruler's. Today, the lion continues to roar through American culture in countless ways. We see it in the logos of powerful companies, conveying trust and stability. It's the mascot for sports teams, embodying a spirit of fierce competition and untamed will to win. The lion in art and film, from The Wizard of Oz to The Lion King, teaches us lessons about finding our courage and embracing our responsibilities. So, while the lion may have never physically walked on American soil, its spirit is deeply woven into the fabric of the nation's identity. It's a symbol that has evolved with us, from representing the power of a king to embodying the strength of a people. It whispers ancient truths that still resonate today, that true power must be guided by wisdom, and that courage isn't about being fearless, but about acting in spite of our fears. The American lion is a myth, yes, but it's a myth that tells a profound truth about who we are and what we aspire to be.
The roar within.
It begins as a whisper, a shadow in the mountains. From the untamed spirit of the native cougar, a silent hunter that roamed the Americas long before the first ships arrived, a new symbol was born. This cougar, often called a mountain lion, was a creature of immense power and grace, revered and respected by the indigenous peoples who shared its land. It was the original king of this wilderness, a symbol of stealth strength and a deep connection to the natural world. But as the nation grew, a different roar began to echo across the cultural landscape. A new predator, one that had never set foot on this continent, began to claim the throne of the American imagination. The golden mane of the lion, a beast of African plains and ancient empires, was adopted and woven into the fabric of the nation's identity. From the majestic lion guarding the New York Public Library to the iconic roar that announced the magic of Hollywood's golden age, this imported king became an emblem of courage, nobility, and dominion. The lion's image was everywhere, a symbol of a nation striving to project strength and leadership on the world stage. It represented a powerful ideal, a blend of regal authority and untamed ferocity that resonated with the American spirit of conquest and ambition. We saw its likeness etched into stone, cast in bronze, and immortalized on film, a constant and powerful presence in our collective consciousness. This transformation from the native cougar to the adopted lion is more than just a change in iconography. It tells a story about America's evolving mythic soul. The lion's roar, though foreign to these shores, serves as a powerful and enduring reminder. It speaks to a timeless truth, that every generation must confront its own wilderness, whether it be a vast frontier, a Great Depression, or a complex modern world. And in facing these challenges, each generation must find the courage to become the king of it.